Welcome to another episode of After the Wreckage podcast. I'm Nathan Ross.
I'm Melissa Ross.
And we're going to talk to you today about infidelity in the digital age. It's a mouthful. And we're talking about this because over lunch today, we had an afternoon off, didn't we? And we sat down and we were just talking about this new retreat that we're building up. And we're talking about lots of things that are going on in everyday life with us. And we were talking about social media.
Yeah.
And we were talking about digital infidelity. We were talking about boundaries. We were discussing lots of things around infidelity in the digital age. And so we thought, let's put some points down because that would be a good topic to talk about. And about boundary setting with social media, boundary setting with mobile phones, boundary setting with what your values and standards are and what you expect your partner's value standards are. And so we thought we'd kick off this podcast with talking about that, didn't we?
Yeah. The world that we live in nowadays is very computer IT heavy, isn't it? So we live in a digital age of social medias everywhere, and lots of people use social media in their work and in their personal life. Which also means then that the opportunity for infidelity is now even greater.
I think what we're talking about is infidelity doesn't always happen now in hotel rooms.
No.
Does it? It doesn't actually happen now where, yes, that's the end result of someone meeting someone or someone going and booking a hotel, but it starts way before that.
Betrayal can begin with a DM or a like or a follow that your partner may not necessarily be aware of. And it's definitely a slippery slope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which
so
we'll dig into.
We're going to dig into as we go through this. Now we've got notes on our computer because we always like to have some pointers as we go through as we do this episode. Let's talk about the opening scene because we always like to tell a story or a scene. So your partner's phone buzzes at 11 o'clock at night. And they flip it over and you in your gut hear it.
You feel something's off.
You feel him move to go to his phone, and it's not like you've seen a lipstick stain on a shirt because that's evidence. But you feel that text or that something that's gone on in the middle of the night doesn't quite sit right for you.
And cheating now can live in our pockets. It can live on the bedside table. It can live on the laptop when you think your partner's working.
So it's private. It's easy to be addictive. It's easy to have an addiction because you can hide it, you can be secret about it. And I think one of the hardest things that people don't understand, especially when your partner's doing it, is how damaging it can be.
Oh, absolutely, because it can be very subtle how it begins, and you can feel the victim, whoever the victim is in this, you can feel like there were signs that you should have seen or that you should have spotted. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about signs. We'll talk about the emotional impact, but also path to recovery from this.
Because I think what we've got to start talking about, first of all, is what is digital infidelity? Okay, what is it? Now, for us, the biggest topic that we want to talk about, and we'll probably do that a bit later on, is men saying my phone's private, which is something that I did from a very early on stage in our relationship. My phone's private, my laptop's private.
There's no sharing of passcodes, there's no sharing of passwords, or you don't have access to my socials or my contact list or my WhatsApp. And we use it under the excuses of I deserve my privacy.
I deserve my privacy. I deserve my privacy, etc., etc. The reality is, what a load of BS.
Which we'll get to. We'll get to. But let's just define the core principle of digital betrayal. Okay,
so and we've got a list down here. So let's break down the types of digital infidelity. Well,
let's just define the principle first. Okay. What actually is it?
So
it's any kind of interaction that somebody would be doing online that you wouldn't want your partner to see.
Yes. I remember
anything you feel uncomfortable, anything your partner feels uncomfortable with or crosses a boundary that you've both agreed on is infidelity.
When you wrote that statement today, and we just started thinking about it, and it's really funny. We're eating steak, and we had the starters, and you wrote that statement down, and I was like, that is such a powerful thing, because how many times as people that start the affair have we spoken to where it starts with a text? And the text you wouldn't show to your wife, or the text that wouldn't show to your partner at the time.
It doesn't even need to be a text. It could be accounts that you're choosing to follow.
Yeah, but let's look because usually accounts that you choose to follow is usually more of a dopamine fantasy thing, isn't
Provocative.
it? Yeah, provocative. Let's look at the infidelity part of it, of how it leads to that. It's that text of, "Oh, it was great to see you today," emoji, kiss, or whatever, because you're testing the waters.
But I also think we shouldn't glaze over the fact of, if you have expressed to your partner that a boundary of yours is you feel uncomfortable with your partner following provocative accounts or seeking to follow or look at provocative women, for example, or certain fetish accounts or whatever, that can still be seen as betrayal.
Yeah, and it is.
Yeah,
and it is. But
so it doesn't have to just be an interaction.
No. But what I'm trying to talk about is the lead up to infidelity.
Yeah,
and the lead up infidelity starts with you taking someone's number.
Yeah.
And the moment you don't tell your wife that you've taken this girl's number for whatever reason, she's a work colleague, she's this, that, and the other, is a moment you're starting the betrayal in your head. And though you might be innocent, i.e., it's not innocent.
But and again, to follow on from that, even in the digital realm, it could be just sliding into her DMs, and just thumbsing up a picture or a comment.
Yep.
It could be as subtle as that, but that can be seen as a betrayal.
And that's depending on the boundaries in your relationship.
Absolutely. We're not here to categorically say this is betrayal and this is not. This is completely subjective to your boundaries within your relationship and what you've established within your relationship.
Yeah.
And if you haven't had those conversations with your partner yet, and you're feeling like this is a potential path that you could go down, first thing we would say is have that conversation about what is acceptable to you and what isn't. Yeah.
So defining the core principle of digital infidelity, my wife said it, if you'd be uncomfortable with your partner seeing it, or if it violates the boundary-agreement you've made in your relationship, it's a form of betrayal.
Yeah.
Now, there's different types of variations of digital infidelity. We're just going to name a few. There's emotional affairs online, frequent DMs, conversations that become flirtatious or intimate or even explicit with pictures and things like that. We've got sexting, explicit photos, messages, even without physical touch. Then we've got the secret apps, the accounts, Snapchats, social media, TikToks, the burner phones, which people have on a separate to their original phone. Then we've got burner profiles, which are fake profiles you've made so you can have interaction with other people.
So you can keep your regular account that your partner does have access to clean.
Yeah, and you're like, look, I'm not doing anything. And then really you've got a burner profile, which is a big thing that we've recently found out in a lot of couples that we've spoken to.
Yeah.
Then we've got the hidden messaging apps where you can hide your WhatsApps, hide your DMs.
Hope we're not giving anybody tips here.
We're not giving them tips, that's for sure. And then we've got there's apps called Telegram and things like that. And then we've got the pornographic chat rooms. We've got the sex rooms. We've got the webcams. We've got the chats. And then that leads on to then following engaging with sexual content excessively. So then we've got prostitution, escorts, and things like that, which then close off the digital side. But it starts all the time with the thing called your mobile phone.
Yeah.
And
which generations ago was not a problem.
Well, people still had affairs generations ago.
Yeah, but absolutely.
I think the access to have infidelity has become a lot more advanced, and it becomes a lot more easier.
If someone wanted to get a hold of you, or you wanted to get a hold of your affair partner, a landline was the only way to do it. So we're much more accessible now, aren't we?
Yeah. And so when we start talking about the impact of having a emotional digital affair, we've got to start then looking at the psychological aspect of it, haven't we? Because one of the things that we explored today was why is having a digital affair hard? Like, why is the impact of that bigger and greater than it would be? Because a lot of people we speak to go, the emotional affair is a lot worse than having the physical affair.
It can hurt just as much, if not more.
Yeah, and it comes down to the online effort, number one. So the wanting to put effort into someone else online that they don't even know, that they've probably never met before sometimes when it comes to chat rooms and things like that.
And an emotional connection can sometimes be worse than not worse, but more painful than a physical one.
And I think because of the secrecy.
Yeah.
This is when it comes down to the online digital affair, it's about the secrecy that continues.
And for the length of time it's able to happen for before the potential physical affair actually happens.
Yeah.
So you could be having an emotional affair online with someone for years until it turned physical.
Yeah.
And then by that point, you feel like you might be in love with this person.
Yeah. I remember talking to a couple a while back, and one of the things that she found so hard was the repetition. And when we talk about the repetition, it was the amount of texts he sent to this woman, and the effort he put with making her feel safe, making her feel sexy and loved and cared for, and
that lack of effort was not mirrored in the relationship.
Yeah. And so what we're looking at then is the amount of effort, but also emotions he could have in these texts to his AP through his phone.
Yeah.
And she found it so hard to understand.
It was like, he never spoke that way to me. He never made me feel that way. He didn't put that much effort into me ever.
Yeah.
But he's put it into this effective stranger.
Yeah. And so when we start talking about digital infidelity, it's about the ongoing secrecy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about what's going on with the secret, and that's probably the most painful part.
Yeah.
When people start seeing messages, people start seeing pictures, people start seeing texts, people start going into their apps and start seeing, like, you've sent this person, you've paid this person, you've chatted with this person, you've sent this person many things, and that's what can be quite painful.
Let's talk about probably one of the most painful parts of this is the humiliation factor, or the potential for humiliation.
Yeah.
Because now we've got screenshots.
Yeah.
We're leaving a digital footprint everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So that can increase pain and shame, because you don't know who's actually now got access to what you've been doing. People could have screenshotted. You've now got people having evidence that they're now sending to the victim.
How many times have we had wives have screenshots sent from their affair partner, or from the affair partner, saying, this is what your husband's been saying, this is what your husband's been doing, this is what your husband's been...
When it's a physical affair, unless someone photographs you, there's no evidence.
No.
There's only you two that know about it.
No.
However, when it's through the internet, through WhatsApp, through Facebook, through socials, whatever it is, you're always leaving a digital footprint, and people somehow will always be able to retrace your steps. So that can be the most painful thing of all, is the humiliation when people find out about it, when you find out about it, but also other people that might be in your circle that also know about it. And
I think also online digital affairs can feel more emotional, and they can feel than physical ones, can't they? Because you're the amount of effort that we spoke about before, but also for the man, he feels it's real sometimes.
Yeah.
So especially when it's not physical infidelity, especially when it's someone like an online sex cam, or a sex prostitute online, or them sort of Facebook conversations that we've seen people have, and they really feel that this person is falling in love with someone on the screen.
Yeah.
And for the wife, it can be so hard hitting, because they're like, the reality is it's just a fantasy. But the man doesn't see it like that. The man generally feels he's falling in love with this woman because of sending him her money, or she's making him feel good about himself.
And that comes back to the transactional love, doesn't it? Which we discuss a lot in our one-to-ones.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some red flags.
I like doing this.
Because we like to give people some little tidbits of things to look out for when it comes to digital.
And the reason why I like doing this is because it's an eye opener.
Yeah.
When you start looking at red flags. Now, our infidelity, it wasn't a very digital one. Yes, I hid my phone. Yes, I hid messages. Yes, I hid interaction.
I think for us personally, the reason that you were able to do that is because from the start of our relationship, whether that was right or wrong at the time, again, you were very secret about your phone.
Yeah.
Now, the level of transparency that we have now...
Yeah, we talked about this, didn't we?
I know if you were ever to be secretive about your phone now, I'd be like, hell no.
Yeah.
I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But it was just a boundary that was set almost without even having the conversation. It was just, okay, this is how I am. This is how I operate.
Yeah.
My phone is mine. You don't have access to my phone. And that's just how it is.
And it's amazing doing this, what we do now with couples, how many relationships where that's normal. I mean, where that boundary of, you just don't check my phone because you don't need to, or... And that's the thing. Does that mean you don't trust me?
Yeah.
You don't need to check my phone, because that means you don't trust me. And that manipulation tactic of, and most of the time, let's be really honest, most of the time, you don't even check my phone.
No.
You don't even go,
not now.
Well, not now. At the beginning, in the short-term phase that we talk about, checking, you do check the phone because you want to see the social medias, you want to see, and how you found out will then depend on what you check. But now you get to a point where you don't even want to check the phone because the phone's everywhere.
Well, I don't need to. I don't feel the need to check the phone because I know I can check the phone.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Yeah. If I felt like I couldn't check your phone and you were going to be defensive about it, my guard instantly goes up and then I'd want to check it because what are you hiding?
And the one thing I will say, and this is to men that are looking to rebuild or repair the relationship, if your phone's... Well, no, first of all, you have lost the benefit of having privacy on your phone.
Yeah.
And I will say this from the very beginning, if you're looking to rebuild and repair and you're still being secretive about your phone, you do not want to rebuild and repair.
So we'll talk about rebuilding after the digital affair in a little bit. We just want to give some red flags. So the first one would be
sudden phone privacy.
A sudden change in phone habits, I would say.
Yeah.
So if your partner is perhaps on their phone a lot more than they used to be, taking it to places they wouldn't normally,
like the toilet,
like the
shower,
toilet or in the shower, taking it where there's probably opportunities where they can message or send pictures in private where you wouldn't necessarily see.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say the first red flag is an increase in phone usage and a change in phone behaviour that is out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we've got one on the list and we missed it.
What's that?
Do you want to go for the one that I've got in my head? And this is, again, because of experience, not posting about your partner. We missed that one. We missed that.
If you're somebody... Again, or if your partner is someone who is very active on social media, yet chooses not to post pictures about you, it's different if they're not active on social media anyway. Because if they're not posting really about anything, then I don't think it's a red flag that they're not posting about you. But if your partner is active, very much so on social media, and posts a lot about their life and what they're doing and
their interaction with children,
and
their children,
and they like to sort of update on social media. Red flag if they're not posting about you, because there's a reason for that. And what is the reason?
You just caught me on the card. The reason is because what they don't want to do, if they are having an affair or they don't want to portray they're in a relationship to someone else or other people.
They don't want to upset the affair partner.
Not just the affair partner. If let's say they haven't got an affair partner. Or
anyone.
They don't want to be seen to be having a relationship with anyone. They want to be seen to be single.
Available.
Available.
Or if the affair partner knows that you're in a relationship, you don't want to seem like you're happy.
Or, that you're happy or that you're in a relationship. I'm just living with my partner because we're co-parenting with the kids.
Yeah.
And all that business and all that jazz.
So not posting on socials if that would be what they would normally do, or if they're very active on social media anyway. A sudden change in phone privacy or an increase in phone activity. Yeah. Deleted apps. So if you knew that they used to have things like Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Tinder possibly, before you guys got together, and then all of a sudden the app keeps reappearing and then deleted and then reappearing and then deleted. Again, if you don't have that openness and transparency with phone use, you may not be able to see that.
No.
But the glance over to see, Instagram was there one day and all of a sudden it's been deleted, or Snapchat used to be there and now it's gone.
I think for me, the one I came up with was the emotional distancing compared with time spent on phone. So, for instance, rather than having time with you on the sofa, I would be on the other sofa on my phone.
Yeah. All in the aid of work.
Yes. Or
most of the time.
Or can we just have some time apart? I just want to chill. I just want to chill.
And the distraction and I suppose the believable excuse for that is just scrolling.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling.
Just chilling. I just want some time by myself.
Just want to relax.
You can scroll right next to your wife while she's leaning on you, watching what you're doing.
Or how about you stop scrolling, you spend time with your wife.
And spend time. So
that would be far more beneficial for you.
But if you've gone from having an emotional connection on the sofa, being intimate, watching films together, doing all the things that you would do, and then suddenly he's on his phone all the time and on another sofa or at bed, turned away, looking on his phone, things like that. Now, we're not saying what we're talking about now is like that must mean he's having an affair.
They're just things to be mindful of.
You know, guys, like my wife knew at the time but didn't want to admit it, that these are red flags, things, they all paint a bigger picture of what's going on.
It was unfamiliar behaviour. And although you had always been secretive about your phone, I think for me the biggest red flag was the increased phone usage. You taking your phone everywhere and actually panicking when you'd left your phone somewhere. So if you'd left your phone out somewhere on the side where I could possibly see a notification, there would be panic. Like, where's my phone? Where's my phone?
Or the thing of when you say, can I borrow your phone? And I was
My phone's dead. And you're like, no.
Yeah. And I was like, no.
Why is that?
Yeah. Another one is all notifications off.
You're listening to the pro here.
Experience. I'm talking from
Ex-pro.
Ex-pro. Thank you very much. Ex-pro.
And I think the last one is definitely...
Well, we've missed that one. It's just a friend.
I was getting to it.
Oh, sorry.
They're just a friend.
Okay.
However,
we'll come to the last one.
They're just a friend. However, you're not allowed
Privy.
or they're not offering to show you conversations or messages or phone calls going back and forth.
Yeah.
So almost trying to minimise the relationship with this supposed friend because actually there's more to it.
Well, if you're... And I find this really annoying for myself because I get annoyed with myself.
Do share.
Because we spoke about this today, and I want to share it because looking back, how I used to act, it's so annoying and frustrating that I was that guy, that man that we talk about.
I'll second that.
Yes, and it was upsetting for you, but I get so frustrated and angry, and obviously I've gone through the process of learning to forgive myself and acknowledge I'm this new person. But when we do things like this, I wouldn't say it's triggering, it's more so that the frustration comes with that I was that guy knowing full well you were having insecurities and I was still okay with that.
Can I speak on your behalf?
I'm sure you will.
I think also it's the fact that you, and again we spoke about this today, the fact that you by character are such a person who's aware of lots of different situations and you're very intuitive.
Yep.
But yet you chose, and obviously this is why, you chose not to see the downward spiral of it going from they're just a friend or they're just somebody from the gym or they're just a client to it becoming something more. Yeah. And you chose not to see that.
And that's the key word. That's the key word. Chose.
Very quick downward spiral.
Yeah, definitely. So they're the red flags that we came up with today while we were eating our lunch about the infidelity in a digital age. Now, let's talk about why it happens, temptations and attentions and escapisms. Because when we start looking at digital infidelity and attention, it's more about the low commitment and high reward. Okay. Because what's the effort really? You can like a picture. You can DM someone. You can send a picture.
And it can be done from anywhere.
And it can be done from everywhere.
So you're not actually setting aside time.
You're not setting no aside, but it looks to be, let's say it's to the AP, it looks like it's effort.
Yeah.
To you.
Sorry to interrupt. I think what every victim of infidelity should take home from this, obviously all the other things that we're talking about, but the fact that the AP only really ever got texts when you were on the toilet, I find quite funny to think about. When you're at home.
Also, we apologise that we're laughing, but we're at that point now in our relationship where we can laugh.
It's not funny, but this is what we mean when we say there's such little effort when it comes to digital affairs. Yeah. That actually the person who is engaging in this is not fully aware of the magnitude of the lack of effort.
Yeah, because to them it may seem lots of effort, and to you as the perpetrator, you'll feel like I'm giving a quality time. Absolutely. When really I'm just about to jump in the shower. Yeah. So it's more about that, and we apologise if we don't mean to laugh about it. We can laugh about it now because we're so far out beyond.
It's just our personal circumstance. We wouldn't find it funny if it was anybody else. No. But now I think for us it's just we've come that far down the road in healing that we can look at situations now for what they were. And
I'll give you a perfect example of this. Okay, today we were talking about we on our food out we like to just express, talk, reflect, do emotional check-ins, and we were talking about the lies that I would say, and they were so stupid. They were so over the top.
You knew they weren't believable. I knew they weren't believable. Yet there was still a tiny little part of me that was hoping that at some point you would stop this charade and realise.
But when we talk about these lies, I am actually like...
Embarrassed
that these lies were coming out my mouth. And I full on knew that you didn't believe me.
Well, let's unpick that, because there was part of, before we actually separated because of the infidelity that I would frequently find things again through a digital means, so photographs or whatever.
Yeah, or I'd be friends with the person and not friends with the person.
And the gaslighting that came from you
Yeah.
in the form of you're not seeing what you're actually seeing.
Yeah.
So there's a photograph right in front of me and you're still trying to say to me,
that's not me.
That's not you. Or I'm not that sitting that close to her. It's just the angle of the camera. Look, you're not seeing it properly.
Yep. Yep.
If you're receiving that level of gaslighting where you're being told that you're not seeing what you're seeing,
making you question as well.
Huge red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Huge red flag.
But yeah, so let's get back to this.
Yeah,
that's
sorry,
a bit off topic.
we went a bit
That's
left
off topic. Okay, so let's talk about
so we talked about why it happened. So we talked about low commitment,
ego boosts, especially during low points in your relationship. So if there's disconnection in your relationship, emotional disconnection in your relationship, you're trying to share, the victim is trying to share how she feels. He's not getting it, and then he's trying to tell you how he feels, and there's conflict and passive aggressiveness and all the things that come with lack of effort, or that comes with poor communication. Then going on your phone, looking at some woman or tapping up some woman with a message, or
also posting pictures of yourself trying to fish for compliments.
In the gym.
Trying to fish for compliments.
We could talk about this.
Oh,
we could talk about this all.
Set him off now.
Because, again, talking from experience.
Yeah.
If your fella goes to the gym, now we've got together, I was a bodybuilder, we own gyms, and if your person is posting up pictures of themselves in the gym, you have to ask the question, why?
Yeah. Most of the time, the excuse or the reason will be, I'm posting my progress, which is fine if it's for self-accountability reasons. However, I'd question the need to post that on social media. Could you not just keep it in your phone library for your own reference if it's not for external validation?
And if so, and again, guys, I'm going to talk from experience, okay? We're posting up pictures of ourselves for people to say, well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Look
great.
at you.
Yeah.
And if you knew me many years ago, I was that guy. Wasn't I?
You've been there.
I've been there. Tick that box.
In your muscle shirt.
Yeah. And again, owning gyms and doing shows and all the things that come with that. That ego boost that I was searching for from other external factors.
Yeah. Instead of just, if you're really doing it for your own personal progress, why post it?
Yeah. Why post it?
You definitely...
But that's a different podcast, because we could go down that route, but that's a different podcast. But what we're looking at really is about, we're doing it for an ego boost, okay? Why is he going online? Why is he going on these sex chats? Why is he going on Snapchat? Why is he even hiding on Tinder? He's married. Why is he on Tinder?
Yeah.
It all comes down to ego boost.
And I'd say the biggest one is using online attention to escape real life.
Yes, avoidance.
Because they're not happy with who they are or
Avoidance.
their situation. So we go on socials to distract ourselves, to, again, get these very quick bursts of dopamine hits with reels and scrolling.
Yeah. It's a snowball effect, isn't it?
I think in addition to just, thinking you're going to switch off by watching the telly or watching a film, now it's just we sit and scroll, don't we? And try and escape. And again, going on these different apps and looking for attention or seeking attention from the opposite sex or the same sex, depends on.
And my question would be, you guys watching on Instagram and watching on YouTube, how many of you are sitting watching this, looking to rebuild and repair your relationship and still not having connection time at night? How many of you men are not leading the emotional check-ins at night, which is something that we talk about a lot? How many of you are not asking your wife, how's she feeling? Does she feel seen? Because that's so important, instead of just scrolling on your phone. But that's something that we talk about in our groups. And then what we got next?
Rebuilding.
How to rebuild. Whew. Now, I will say this, and this is what we spoke about today, because...
So we've talked about red flags, we've talked about what happens. Now, the key thing, which I'm sure people are waiting and eagerly anticipating.
Now, rebuilding after digital betrayal, digital infidelity, digital affairs, whether that's led into a physical, whether that's led into an emotional affair, whether that's led you into a route of sexting, texting, or whatever you've done to cross boundaries that your wife feels betrayed. And that's the key in this. If your wife feels betrayed, you've caused betrayal. Okay?
Yeah, it's no good just saying, but I didn't sleep with her.
I didn't know her.
I didn't do anything with her.
I only liked her pictures.
I've never actually met her.
Yeah.
Okay, but that still doesn't make it not a betrayal.
No. If your wife feels it's a betrayal, she feels it's a betrayal. And so it's a betrayal, and it's your duty then to start bringing the rebuilding back into the repairing back into the relationship where she feels she can trust you and feel safe again. Now, we have the short, medium, long term. If you've worked with us and you've watched this before, or you've watched us and you've worked with us before, you know what the short term, the medium, the long term looks like. We did it in our relationship. We teach people how to do the 3 stages in their relationship. But the short time is full transparency, all passwords, full phone access, no secrecy.
That kind of needs to be a non-negotiable.
It's a non-negotiable. It's not kind of. Yeah. It's a full-on non-negotiable.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It's going to be very, very difficult to regain trust without that. If you are absolutely adamant that that's something that you can't give to your partner for whatever reason, you may morally feel that you deserve your privacy still, or you may feel that it's an invasion of your human rights that this person can now access all of your information, you're going to find it really difficult to rebuild any kind of trust. Yeah. Not just from a digital affair point of view, just from any kind of a betrayal. We always
talk about you've lost the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's just the key phrase in all of this.
Yeah, as a man, when you cause betrayal, you've lost the benefit of the doubt.
Initially, when you get together with somebody, that's part of it's kind of a given, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just accept that what your partner's saying is the truth,
yeah,
and you've got no reason to go against that until betrayal happens.
Yeah.
Now, once the betrayal's happened, you, like Nathan said, you don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore. So you have got to go above and beyond normal means to re-establish some trust. And that does look like full transparency. And we don't mean, oh, they can check my phone when they ask, or I'll pass them my phone once I've unlocked it.
Yeah.
You know, I love that one.
I laugh again because when someone said, I'm allowing them to look at my phone, but I'm just checking it.
I'm going to just quickly delete certain apps, and I'm going to quickly delete some messages and some internet browsing history.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you check my phone.
Yeah, definitely.
The betrayed person needs to have full access to your phone at whatever time they choose, and there's no, I just need to do something on my phone first. Because that goes out the window then.
Now, there are some apps that can hold you accountable, isn't there? There's that Covenant app that we use, which was quite good. There's Open Screen Time app as well, where it mirrors what you're doing on your phone, on my phone, and what I'm doing on my phone and your phone, so you can see.
It can sound extreme.
It can sound like policing.
However,
it needs to be done if you're looking to rebuild.
It does, and what I would say is it's not necessary forever.
No.
Once you've re-established that level of trust, the need to do this will be less. However, the need for you to have a constant open door policy when it comes to your phone will remain. So the whole thing of having the Live 360 and having these open screen apps, yes, they will help in the interim period, and they won't be necessary the more intensely you are transparent in the beginning.
They won't be necessary when the man starts to do the work, which leads on to the other one, therapy. Okay? There is a reason. Now, I'm not going to talk about the infidelity part. I'm going to talk about the disconnection part in a relationship.
Yeah.
There was a reason, or is a reason, why your relationship has become emotionally disconnected. And we've worked with couples going from 1 month up to 30 years of living in an emotional disconnected relationship. Okay, where poor communication, where lack of knowing what each of the love languages are, where both needs aren't being met, where both needs of each other are being put elsewhere. And so really you've got to start looking at, if this has been a thing in your relationship where you know that you've tried to fix it yourself or talk about it yourself, then, and it's not being, I suppose, you're not hearing from each other in a positive way, but you're hearing it from an attack rather than a place of love, then you've got to start looking at therapy.
Definitely. And I'd say the final one that we came up with rebuilding is having a clear social media code of conduct for the relationship. And what that looks like is having clear boundaries, clear digital boundaries of what you both find acceptable. So we're not having private DMs. We're not having old conversations still on the phone. No. All of those are deleted. We're cutting ties from anybody that we were previously talking to. We unfollow the people that we were previously following that makes our partner feel uncomfortable.
Yep. That's even going from women, half naked women, fitness models that are half naked.
Because if you're not aware of how the social media algorithm works, the more you look at certain types of accounts and like and follow them, the more they will appear on your feed. And you can actually change the algorithm on your phone.
There's a thing on Instagram now where you can go and clear cache in the part of the Instagram that clears your Explorer mode and clears everything that you look at. And it can be done.
Yeah.
It's easy. But I think it's really important that we emphasize that what's hidden online can hurt just as much as what's hidden in person.
What's done in person.
Definitely. Because that's really key, that men and women both understand that. So rewriting the rules of connection. This is something that you came up with. Rewriting the rules of connection. What's the opportunity for couples when this is going on? What's the opportunity? I like the first one, redefining intimacy in the digital world. Because I think what most people haven't done is talk about boundaries. So what's my boundary in social media or the digital world? And this is for rebuilding, or if not even before. And if you are rebuilding, there's talking about my boundary now is you do not follow accounts in XYZ. Anything that happens DM-wise, you make me aware of. I have access to everything, and all that comes with it. You've got to start rewriting the code when it comes to digital openness and transparency.
And I think also, let's create some daily rituals of reconnecting in person. As in us in our relationship, rather than leaving the door open for opportunity to go and escape online.
Or sit on each other's sofa separately.
So what that looks like is you check in, you spend intentional time together. You're not just sat there on opposite ends of the sofa or opposite ends of the living room or the opposite ends of the bed, sitting on your phone. And I think that the age that we live in now, it's just so tempting.
I would advise, and I think this is the thing that we've learned, try and stay off social media as much as possible.
But if you can't for whatever reason, I would have a cut-off point where you have your phone away for the evening. So it's not there as a temptation. You can put it upstairs while you guys are downstairs. You could leave it in a place that's not accessible. You and I no longer have our phones on charge on our bedside table.
No.
Because it's too easy when you're lying in bed to just respond to a message or to, my email's pinged, I'm just going to pick it up.
One of the sorry to interrupt, but I really see one of the key things that we did initially, we bought one of those mobile phone lock boxes, remember? And so we've got a daughter, if you don't know, we have a 9-year-old daughter. And we were adamant about being present, because I hadn't been present for however long up and during the infidelity. And as you guys know, when I came back, one of the key things was being present, wasn't it? So we bought this Amazon mobile phone lock that every time we came out from anywhere, going out for the day or whatever, we came in, and even at night time, we just locked it in the box, and that was it. We didn't touch it.
It's crazy how much distraction this little thing provides in your, not just your relationship, in your family setting as well. We have a no phone at the table rule. We put our phones away at a certain time of the evening.
We leave them to charge downstairs at night, so they're not in our bedroom. Then you could say, what about an alarm? Not being funny, you can buy an alarm for $5.99.
You can have an alarm. You can buy an alarm clock.
Yeah, exactly. So this whole thing about really setting aside quality intentional time is so important, and that's another rule of rewriting the rules of connection.
Because let's be honest, there's a lot of people these days that are addicted to their phone.
I was one.
Literally addicted. You don't even realise how many times a day you're picking up your phone.
And there's a difference
habitually.
There's a difference between people that are sex addicts and addicted to porn, because they will be on their phone, and that's a different type of work, and that's a different type of therapy and a different type of counselling they need. And that because it becomes an addiction. But most people aren't addicted. Most people are addicted to their phone because of the dopamine of scrolling. I remember that one time I looked at my phone and I'd been on it like per day, an average was like 18 hours.
21, I think.
Was it 21?
Your most, 21 hours, because again you're posting for work and all those things, but still that's an insane amount of time.
Unhealthy.
Square eyes.
Remember
that your mum and dad used to say, don't sit too close to the telly, you'll get square eyes.
Okay, so that's another rule of normalising checking-ins rather than checking out, having quality time. And I think we just need to close on a few things that we put at the bottom of this is that when you start thinking about rebuilding your relationship, especially after infidelity, whether it's physical, emotional, as a man, you have got certain tasks now that you need to do to ensure your partner feels safe, seen, and secure. Now, I would argue with any man, and when it comes to your phone, if you are not being transparent with your phone when it comes to rebuilding and repairing, you're not wanting to rebuild.
No.
And that's as black as white as it can be when it comes to infidelity. Everything else.
Your need or your imperative need for this level of privacy does not supersede her need to feel safe.
The victim feeling safe in this rebuilding process in the short, medium, and long term is key. And we when we do counselling sessions, we always speak to the man about what does your partner need from you right now, and there's no ifs, buts, or maybes, because a lot of the time the wife is sharing what they need.
Let's be honest as well. If you're being offered a chance to rebuild, because not everybody is. Or not everybody has that opportunity. If your partner's offering you the grace of forgiveness and wants to rebuild with you, you at least owe them. You at least owe them full transparency so that you have a shot at rebuilding. Because if you're still going to be shady and still insist that you need your privacy, it has no chance.
No.
Let's be honest. Or it has no chance at longevity.
And when we talk about digital infidelity, if you're a man still saying it's not that serious, I didn't do anything, I was just scrolling, I was just looking, I was just messaging for attention, and what, you've crossed the boundary.
And if you're the person who's been betrayed by that, you're not crazy, you're not overreacting. No. That pain is real.
Yeah. So, and I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
As much as we can in a short space of time on our podcast, because lots of these topics we could go in depth and talk about even more. But we just wanted to give a clear overview of what we've found in our therapy sessions, what we've put a pen to paper over lunch today, and wanted to bring to you what digital infidelity looks like in the 2025, because it's so easy, it's so accessible, and I do feel that unless you have honest conversations about what your boundaries are,
they can be crossed so easily.
They'd be crossed so easy. So, guys, thank you for watching on Instagram. Thank you for watching on YouTube. This is the After Wreckage podcast. I'm Nathan Ross.
I'm Melissa Ross.
And we will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.